in the Armed Forces.
We've been checking out what life's like in the Armed Forces here in London. Did you know the Army, the Navy and the Air Force can all be found right here in our capital city, whether guarding buildings, on the Thames or flying above the capital? Well, there's part of the Army that you can get even closer to and even join. It's the Army Cadets.
Attention!
And for action and adventure, fun and friendship, the Army Cadets are hard to beat. It's a voluntary youth organisation. You need to be 12 years old to join or to be in Year 8 at school. Some of the activities have a military theme, others have a more community focus, but they all inspire young people to challenge their limits, become more independent, confident and able to step up to any challenge. So what goes on at a cadet meeting? Well, being a cadet means that you get to do lots of activities you wouldn't normally do. Cadets get together once or twice a week. At the start of a meeting, there's a parade where the detachment commander inspects the cadets. Then there might be some drill, that's learning to march as a team, which may sound easy, but when there is more than one person marching, turning and saluting at the same time, well, things can go a little wrong. After that, activities. Let's go and visit a cadet unit to find out more. They have made obstacles around the hall using furniture and other objects. One cadet is wearing a blindfold, while the other cadets on his team are shouting instructions to help him navigate his way across the room. This activity is helping develop navigation and communication skills. Some older cadets over there are refreshing their map and compass skills. They're going to be running a field exercise later in the week and need to make sure all the maps and compasses are right. And over there, some others are having a lesson in first aid as they work towards their next qualification. At the next meeting, everyone gathers dressed in their military camouflage uniforms. After a kit inspection and notices, they're off in a minibus to a nearby army training ground for a field training exercise. They're putting cam cream, that's camouflage paint, on their faces and disguising their shapes with foliage. Once the safety brief is finished, they're off on their exercise. Whilst the officers are playing the role of the enemy, the senior cadets are reminding the others of the basics of personal camouflage and how to both move as an individual and work as a member of a section in the field. Phew! By the time the exercise is over an hour or so later, everyone is exhausted but happy. The junior cadets are especially happy as they're well on their way to their next star level. As well as cadet awards and certificates, you can work towards the Duke of Edinburgh's award scheme. Let's check out some of the history of the cadets. It all started over 150 years ago. In 1859, Britain was under threat of invasion by the French, but most of the professional soldiers were away in India. Because of worries about the safety of the general public, the volunteers were formed. These were groups of adults who were prepared to train in readiness for an attack. Many young people joined too and were known as the cadets. By 1860, there were 8 official cadet units and the term cadet force was introduced. Some schools even began to include cadet training within the school week. It was seen as a good way of teaching discipline and keeping young people fit. By the time of the Second World War, there were over 100,000 Army Cadets. Today, there are over 41,000 cadets in more than 1,600 detachments all over the country. And the Cadets remain one of the UK's oldest, largest and most successful youth organisations. As you can see, it's a group with a long history and there's lots you can learn, and it sounds like plenty of fun too. The Cadets are a pretty good way to see if you might like Army life. But don't worry, there's no requirement to join the Army if you're a cadet. Why not check out the detachments near you? With around 100 of them across London, there's bound to be one nearby. Find out more about life in the Armed Forces at funkidslive.com/armed forces. Catch you next time.
Life in the Armed Forces.